Welcome to Talking Live out of Starshop Studios. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig, and today we have a special show and a very special guest, Mr. G with WPIX. He is New York's favorite weatherman. At least he's my favorite weatherman, and he's also my uncle. He's here to talk about the news business, weather, how he got into the profession, and a few personal things as well. So without further ado, my favorite uncle.
I thought this was a therapy session. Right. Well, I didn't know I'm getting interviewed.
And how do you feel about that? So really, I mean, we walked into this studio and everybody stopped you.
$50 a person. It was a fortune.
You have a huge fan base, and that's always been the case for as long as I can remember. Now, you've been in this business 4 decades. Is that correct?
40 years. My 40th year. And I always tell people I still look good if they don't say it.
Well, I think everybody agrees that you still look good. And that is really a long time for somebody in the TV business. What do you attribute your longevity to?
You know, I had a career and have a career where I did things on my own. I didn't wait to be told. And when I did things on my own and it succeeded, I wasn't complimented. So what happened was I noticed that visiting schools made kids feel good, parents feel good, community feel good. I felt good, it looked good. And the bosses couldn't quite understand what was going on, but they let me keep doing it. And I continue to do it to the tune of about 500 schools, which
you
means
really follow your intuition. I think we should go back for some of the people that might not know this about you, that you started off as a teacher. And I think we have some great pictures of you back in the day. That is my uncle and me during my high school graduation. Did you see that picture?
And it only took her 12 years to get out of a senior year. That's why I was so happy.
I look pretty good for somebody who's 30. That's how long it took me now.
Did very well. Her left hand is on my wallet, but we won't share that.
I think I asked for a gift. But
when Robi would say Uncle Irving, that meant she wanted something.
Yeah,
Uncle
and you were
Irving.
always very generous. But that's you back in the day when you were a science teacher in the Bronx.
Yeah, I want to concentrate on this a little bit. I personally believe that if you study a still picture, you'll learn more than video. When you get video, it's how am I looking, how am I doing? When you study a picture, once you look at the intensity of the kids. Now, I set up a weather bureau. I learned my craft from Jim Witt. I went up to Dutchess County at 4:30 in the morning. Stayed there till 7, drove back to the Bronx. I brought my students up there to see a great weather program. I walked in and I saw teletype machines. I saw radar. This was 1967, and I said, I got to do this in the Bronx, and everybody thought I was nuts.
But you brought the first computer science program into the Bronx.
Yeah, but I think the important thing here for me, Robi, is what I try to share with people when I go around. That walk into that room on that day with those kids and that brilliant teacher, everything lit up. Most people go through their life waiting for that moment. I got that moment, and I transported it down to the Bronx, and I ran with it. Everybody said no, I said yes. So I had a tough Title I school learning complicated weather because, again, nobody told me to do it. I'm real good when I'm not told because it's not forward thinking many times. And this program produced great teachers, produced a couple of weathermen, produced a TV weatherman.
Wow.
And the guy who spawned me, Jim Witt, he produced weathermen across the country. And this is what a great teacher does. Now, I know I'm going on, but it's an important point that I want to raise about this business. And I was thinking about this coming up. We're in the business. We have a platform to make people better.
Yeah.
A lot of people miss that. I'm known for the second thing. I'm not known for the first thing. The second thing is this is a nice guy who visits kids.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That's more important than popular weatherman, which is my job.
Right, but I have to say that now you were a charismatic uncle, teacher before you were a weatherman.
How come she never told me that
Well,
when she
no,
was younger?
it's really true. So I think when you are charismatic and creative, people want to watch and look and see what you're doing and even learn from you. The interesting thing about your TV career, and many of you may not know this, is that you wanted to be a weatherman.
Right.
You became a teacher. Your master's is in education.
Right.
And because you were doing this really interesting science program in the Bronx, a news team wanted to come and tape you.
Oh, so
And so and I'll let you tell the story, but basically they fall in love with him and say, if you can do what you're doing in front of the classroom on television, you're going to have an amazing career.
hey, this reminds me of my family dynamics. I thought you asked me a question.
Okay, now you can go.
Hey,
Okay, now.
wait a second. I think you just gave the answer. How am I doing?
But when I asked you how to get into television, I mean, in a way, you were discovered. So,
But there's something here that we should back up. They never
Okay.
came with a camera, but they did come in a limousine. 3 people in very fancy suits. These were CBS executives in the Bronx on Bolton Avenue. When that limo pulled up, the kids thought it was a funeral hearse or something like that.
did they think you died?
Something like that. And then they came up to me at the end of the, is that a fire drill?
I don't know.
And they came up to me at the end of the lesson and asked, guy looked at me and eventually became the head of CBS, Ed Joyce, and he said, one question, can you do that in front of a camera? I said, what? Whichever you did with those kids. And the answer was yes. But I go back to what Art Buchwald once said, and you're doing it, and Julian back there is doing it as he does this stuff. He
Julian's our producer, by the way.
Yeah, and he, nice guy. One of the guys that makes Robbie look good, but it's easy to make Robbie look good.
Because he likes to live, but we'll go on.
I thought that was an implied threat or a direct threat. I'm not sure. But
Just a warning. No.
Art Buchwald was a great writer. And the story goes on his deathbed. He said, I didn't know where I'm going. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where I'm going. I just wanted to figure it out.
Yeah.
I figured it out. That day, when I went up to Lakeland High School, I figured it out. I love this teacher. I love weather. I love kids. I didn't know how I was going to do it. People like me because I like people. I really want to make people feel good. And I think this platform does that. It's a feel-good platform.
You mean the Facebook Live platform?
Facebook Live,
Yeah.
television, radio, Snap, Instagram.
It's intimate, right?
It is very intimate,
Yeah.
but here's something that I've had this conversation, been thinking about this lately a lot. We miss the point. There's a point that people say, you know, gosh, I only want to be a celebrity, only to walk around with sunglasses. We miss the point. The point is when you have a platform, use it, and use it for the better good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's something you've done throughout your career. So once you got into television, you wanted to bridge the gap between what you do on TV and going back to kids. Did you institute a principal for the day?
Did a couple of things.
Okay.
I was principal for a day, and I gave the kids no homework for a week, and I was
Oh.
never asked back. That was another touching moment.
Was that a way to get yourself fired?
I had a principal chase me down the hall.
Right.
No, I did that a couple of times, but I think what I started with Matilda Cuomo, she asked me to join in, was mentoring kids in the city. She has a mentoring program. It's really her program, but I've been with her for years. I did the homework hotline where kids call in and get the homework in the city. We have 45 teachers. We have 900,000 kids in the city. We've had close to 800,000 kids call in 10 years. And we've had a discussion about over the years, I'm doing stuff with Northwell Hospital now and the Children's Hospital, other stuff. But our conversations with Robbie has been lately that the business of the business is business.
Right.
So to keep the platform, you have to show the value, and you have to show the return on investment.
Right.
So,
And that's another thing that people may not know about you is that you have a really good business brain. That you are not...
I got to come here more often.
You're
I
not,
never get
right.
these compliments
well,
during the
you have to
Seder,
come on the Talking Live in order to get it.
during
But
Hanukkah. I don't get any of this
stuff. But the truth of the matter is, it's like you're not simply on-air talent. You figured out well into the game that it's important to be a business person. You have friends who are successful in the business world, and you want to understand, you understand that it's all about money making for the people who sponsor the show, and so you became knowledgeable. Was that always something that interests you, or did one feed the other? How did it work?
When I first got hired at CBS, there's a guy, Neil Darrow, there, and he started talking to me. Remember, I come out of the Bronx. I was born in the tenements, so he said to me, "You're going to be a big star." I didn't even know what the heck he was talking about. This was 1977.
So you didn't think to yourself, I agree, I really am a star?
No?
No?
Your mother, who's my sister, pushed me out to do West Side Story, pushed me out to be Conrad Birdie, pushed me on the stage. I didn't want any of this. I was camera shy. I was not even in a yearbook until I'm in junior high school.
We have an old picture, just to
How
tell
many
you the
old
truth.
pictures are you showing? The
I
one with
think
James Monroe is
we
my
have this
favorite.
one. No, go back. Go back with the long hair. Wait, we'll get to those stories. That was one of the first times you brought me to the studio.
You got to give me this picture.
I will give you that
Send me
picture.
this one, right?
That was and that was like one of the first days that I realized.
And I remember reading your mind as you look at Robbie's eyes. It was, why is he in my shot? I just don't really understand why.
I was thinking, why is he in back of me?
I mean, I'm looking at the camera, and I think that's where she learned the term upstage. I'm not sure. There was a moment there.
That was during the phase, actually, when people had Mr. G back. It's this picture. Actually, this picture reminds me, Grandma's words go through my head. Didn't she call you Wolfman with your hair like that? But he was always a hottie, okay? So the girls always liked you.
It was the style.
It was the style.
That's what I said to myself. It was the style.
But I like that. Now, but you never had hair that long in TV. Those were your teaching days.
Oh, my hair's very long for television now.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
And everybody more or less has short hair.
Are you growing it to that or no? You're done with those days?
Yeah, I'm finished with that. Obviously, you want to keep it up there for the rest of the interview, which is fine.
No, we'll go on because I do want to talk about, in terms of the business, is you do a segment called A G Thing.
Love it.
Which I love,
Thank you.
and I've recommended.
Appreciate
we have Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, but that's for a rapper, actually. But I thought it was appropriate because people call you G. But we have
a thing.
A
Ours is called The Thing.
Thing, yes. So we
Robbie
have a
was
picture.
always like this. I don't do that, but it's now Robbie's with her spelling and logo.
Right. We have a picture of you from It's a G Thing with men in suits. And I believe
this guy on the left.
You want to take us through that?
Yeah, this guy on the left gives out suits to criminals when they come out.
I love that.
They have no money. They have no identification. They have Subway, a Metro card, and that's it. They have really no clothes to speak of that would be presentable. So football players and myself, we're going to donate former suits. Look at this guy just out of prison with that suit.
He looks so dignified and handsome. I love the G Thing segments, first of all, because we get to see you in a different way. And you also shine the light on stories of people who don't necessarily have voices or who we wouldn't hear about on a regular basis.
Let me share a couple of stories with you so you know how I'm affected. And since you're a sensitive woman, you're going to get it. And what's the following 3 million people? They will get it also.
85 million viewers,
okay,
yes.
You learn fast. I saw a kid getting chemo at 12 years old. The mother was in the room crying. He tells the story. At 12 o'clock, he's getting chemo. At 6 o'clock in the morning, there's art. While the mother was crying, he did a mind switch and was drawing. His work now is on graffiti. It's in museums.
Wow.
It's really all over the place. What he did was he rallied on behalf of himself at the lowest moment and produced art. I've seen doctors bring in a basket to women who had their breasts removed. The surgeon, the next morning, with the understanding how barren the woman feels, presents her with a gift. The same doctor who operated on her. Why? Because he told me that when patients rally, It's good medicine.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
all
good
about
medicine.
that.
I did a story, and the woman's going to get the President's Award at Northwell. She sings songs. She sings songs. Who? It's called music therapy to kids who are very ill in a hospital. And I also saw, which the G thing lets me do, I also saw in an incubator with a preemie, is that what it's called?
Yeah, preemie.
They put in soothing music.
Wow.
And they found the heartbeat slowed down in the baby. They found that the brain waves were a little bit more manageable. Music for a baby born prematurely is relaxing. So what I have found in this journey, and just recently yesterday, a Holocaust survivor who was shot in 1944 through the arm because he bent down to eat grass during a death march in Poland.
Wow.
What did he do at 90 years old? He created an invention. The invention was buttoning your shirt if you have arthritis.
Wow.
Okay?
Amazing. It's amazing. And they're feel-good, inspirational stories, and I don't think we get a lot of that. So I'm going to direct people, first of all, to some childhood photos, some private photos of Mr. G, some of them that you've seen. We're going to put them on my Facebook, and we're also going to make sure that you can follow Mr. G, know his Facebook, know where his segments are airing so that you can keep up on everything that he's doing.
And we're going to put this
Yeah,
segment,
we're going to put this segment on too.
well, Julie and I are going to put it on his company's. I'm going to put it on Facebook, on my page. Maybe we'll get it on the main page of PIX, all right? Because you may not know this, but Robbie's interviewing me for a job at PIX, and that's basically how this works.
I mean, I would love to work with you. In fact, this whole show is a result of conversations we've had about the importance of social media and how this new platform is becoming so important. And we both have a love of television and the visual medium, and you also had many years in radio. What do you think it is that you bring to your audiences that has helped you get 4 Emmys, if not more, 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards?
Which
you're
means
bringing
I died
something,
twice.
which means you're bringing something special. I think people feel they know you. They like to look at you, but I think they feel they know you. Do they feel your weather predictions are accurate?
People, here's the deal. It's not about accuracy.
Right.
For
I didn't
anybody,
think so,
anybody in television, you do the 48 hours out, you're 95% right, all stations. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the answer to your question is the likability comes, I think, I'm a New Yorker for sure, that helps. I'm a de-stressor for most people. Now, I may stress myself because I demand a lot, but I'm a de-stressor. When they come to me on air, it's going to be okay. And I'll tell you a story.
In terms of bad weather?
No,
or just...
no, I'm not talking about weather.
Oh, okay.
If you notice many times, I don't even talk about that.
I know, I'm trying to get you to, but okay.
It's not, we've got 2 minutes left.
No, we have time. Go ahead.
No, it's not about that. Anybody can be a weatherman, really. It's not even those fancy graphics you see. What is it? It's that you're bigger than it. You're bigger than the chopper. You're bigger than the radar. You're bigger than the forecast. You're communicating, de-stressing, and you're out front without trying to be. That's what you're doing. That's about what I've been able to do.
It's funny because I have friends that will watch you and they will say, Mr. G really gives the best forecast because I really feel nurtured and taken care of when he tells
Isn't
it.
that
It's
nice?
just so funny.
Hear
Yeah,
that, Julian?
Yeah. We do a Keeping It Real segment. So I'm just going to go through a series of questions and then you can answer. All right.
Hit it.
Who's your favorite niece? Okay.
That one's easy. Ramey.
Oh my God. You want to take that back?
Lori.
Okay. Oh
All
my
right,
God.
okay,
Okay. That was just a joke question.
I'm
All
looking
right.
at Julian. If it's funny, he's laughing.
I know. All right. If you had to change your name,
Right.
what would it be and why would you choose that name?
Yale Hamilton.
Yale Hamilton.
It sounds aristocratic, and I never went to Yale.
And it makes it sound
And
like
I
you
liked
went.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. If you won the lottery, what would you do?
That's always an interesting question when people posit it. I love so much what I do. I take this to a different level. Now, what I'll share with you, which is breaking news, because people don't know it yet, I'm going to be on Amazon. Starting very shortly, I'll be on Echo. So you'll say, ask Mr. G the weather. Alexa, hey, ask Mr. G the weather, and you'll get me 724.
Oh, I love that.
So if
So you'll give me information where people can find you?
Yeah, and somehow I'm sure you'll be on it.
Okay.
I'm somehow you'll be in the background.
Will they have my photo on that?
But move forward, Robbie.
Okay.
That's what I'm always saying.
Forward.
Go.
You are a forward thinker. Okay. What is a skill you'd like to learn and why?
That's a really interesting question.
I knew you'd like that.
It's something you said to me a long time ago, which I quote you, when you said that listening is a sign of respect. And one of the things that I'm really good with kids when it comes to patients and all, but when it comes to adults, I seem to lack patience. I think the reason in my own mind is what happened to the guy who went to college for 10 years to get his doctorate at night? What happened to the guy who read a book twice a week? Where are those people? Why have people become a little harsher? Why have they become more short-sighted? So I wish I could do what you asked me to do, which was listen more, because it is a sign of respect. I just get a little impatient when I hear laziness.
Okay. All right. I hear you. What is your favorite time of day?
It's the morning. 2 cups of coffee. 2 cups of coffee. Read the papers. Now I'll be doing Amazon. I used to do CBS Radio.
So exciting.
Take a nap. I nap 4 times a day. 4 times a day.
That's why you look so good.
That's what I have in common with Albert Einstein. 4 times a day.
All right. If you could have dinner with anyone from history, who would it be?
Your mother.
My mother from history. Oh, you're really winning on the family questions. We'll disown you after this. Okay.
No, I would. Who would I really want to?
Yeah.
I would be Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
I had a great teacher in Dr. Elliot Shapiro, who I shared with you.
Yes.
And I was friends with Theodore Sorensen. Ted Kennedy was John Kennedy's brain trust. So 2 out of the 3 were at the table.
Absolutely. That's amazing. How many people can say that too? What can we expect to see next from you other than Echo on Amazon?
That's the kind of, I think what I'd like to think is that I will become more attached to things I like and use my platform to share that. And to share it with Robbie, because Robbie always wanted to be a star. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't remember that.
Her first words to me was, I want to be a star.
I don't remember that, and I don't have dementia.
There's one more story. When your mother was pregnant with you, I put my hands on her belly.
Yes.
And I said, may this child be like me. And
sadly, I was.
When you came out,
right.
This is a true story, everybody. I saw her in the base bed where all the babies are, and I could swear Robbie swung at the nurse. I saw her hand go up like that. I just couldn't tell if it was a left or a right.
Listen, I was preparing for my book on marital homicide. I was just testing it out. Well, anyway, listen. It was a pleasure having you. It's always great to see you. Hopefully you'll come back. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll go to my Facebook page and Mr. G's Facebook page so you can watch this and see what he's up to. And we will see you Monday for our next Talking Live, regularly at 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.